Likely, maybe, what if? Sean McVay was asked about the Rams' projected win total being 6.5. He said they don't believe in us. Is there actually value to be had in betting the Rams over? It's likely the Rams are terrible. It's likely the Rams are one of the 5 or 6 worst teams in football. They don't have the depth. The Stafford injury is concerning. And listen, they went all in on the Super Bowl. They won it. Credit to them. It would have been really painful if they hadn't. But now they're entering a long wilderness. Maybe Stafford gets traded during the season. Let me look at how the Rams season starts. I don't think it's a brutal schedule. But, well, it's not a good start. It's not a brutal overall schedule, but it is a brutal beginning of the schedule. At Seattle, home for the Niners, at the Bengals, at Indy, home for Philly. If they start 1-4, which they will, if there's a Super Bowl contending team that suffers a quarterback injury, could you see Stafford traded? Absolutely. Absolutely. But what if? I guess the what if would be, what if Geno massively regresses? The Niners quarterback situation's too much of a mess. And the NFC West this year is last year's NFC South. And 8 wins can win you the division. But so I guess the what if would be they win a terrible division. But I don't see that being realistic at all. All right, next. Mac Jones didn't take long. This is, again, I'm reading from the producers. Show how great the Pats defense was at camp. First play on 7-on-7s, the quarterback threw an interception. Is this guy going to be good or not? It's likely that Mac Jones is a top-tier backup quarterback. That's who he is. Flatly. But maybe Mac Jones is actually just a bottom-tier starter. But what if Mac Jones doesn't even make it through the season because Bailey Zappi takes his job? There is no, I'm not going to do the coordinator's situation was so bad last year. It was terrible last year. But Zappi, who I do not think is some future star, the 2 games he played, the Patriots offense looked good. Mac Jones is petulant. He's immature. He's the only quarterback in league history to be marked a dirty player for what he has tried to do post-turnover with the gator rolling and sliding with his cleats up. That was kind of a Brady thing, but the ankle twisting, I'm not going to believe in him. I don't think he's good, and I talk about him way too much on the TV show because of Wild, so not getting into it. Now Daniel Jones. Tiki Barber said Daniel Jones would be a top 5 quarterback. DeMonte probably agrees. What do you think? Well, it's likely that Daniel Jones is exactly who smart people think he is. A good athlete with strong limitations as a quarterback who will put a ceiling on your team as long as he's your starter. That's the most likely. That he tops out at the 16th best quarterback in football. But maybe it's likely Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. That's right. But maybe the Giants truly lean into his athleticism, try to turn him into a very poor man's Cam Newton, lean on the running and win that way. And the what if is what if they open up the offense this year to see what he can be, which they should have done via the franchise tag. Instead, they gave him the long-term deal. And you realize you've invested 4 years, $160 million into a bad quarterback. So I understand the Daniel Jones folks were taking a bit of a victory lap after last year. I understand. No. It's not the what if DeMonte was right. It's what if that the Giants realize they're screwed, because DeMonte likes Daniel Jones. I give him credit. He stopped fumbling the ball and he didn't throw picks last year, but it's because it was a training wheels offense asking him to do as little as possible where he threw 15 total touchdown passes. I'm just not believing in it. I'll die on that hill, but I'm not going to die on the hill. All right, to Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's been given the all clear. They'll continue to follow the original return plan. Shanahan said when he does return, he'll be with the starters. Will Purdy be able to recapture his rookie year magic? It's likely Brock Purdy is a slightly worse version than he was last year. More film on him, suffered a major injury to his throwing arm, already had athletic limitations. Maybe Purdy becomes an all-time Cinderella story in this league. Maybe Purdy builds on last year, is even better, and the Niners do have their quarterback of the future. What if, though, Brock Purdy has to miss time and Trey Lance, who this team gave 3 first-round picks for, has never really played and they've seemingly already given up on? What if Trey Lance ends up being the guy they thought he was when they drafted him and the Niners are awesome? I think the Niners' only hope of being awesome is if Trey Lance plays. Now, it's possible Trey Lance is terrible. The Niners seem to think he's terrible. We haven't seen enough from him in actual football games to determine that. His rookie season, he played a game and a half, played well in one of them. His second year, he played his first game in a torrential downpour in Chicago, looked bad, and then broke his leg a couple snaps into game 2. But that athleticism in the Shanahan offense would be deadly, and I'd be interested to see it. All right, next, Travis Kelce has a crush on Taylor Swift. She wouldn't see him before or after the show. He really wanted to give her a friendship bracelet. He said this on his great podcast, New Heights, which I should be a guest on. Come on, Travis and Jason, make that happen. If they get together and break up, there'd 100% be a song about Travis. What will happen here? It's likely, and I love Travis, you guys know that, but it's likely that Taylor Swift is, I guess, too big of a celebrity for Travis. I guess if she snubbed him. Listen, we need Diora here for this segment. I don't know a ton about Taylor Swift. I know she's like neck and neck with Beyonce for the biggest star in the world on the musical scene. So maybe she's too big time, or likely she's too big time. Maybe she hears about this and is going to be like, oh my God, I love him. I didn't know he was trying to give me a friendship bracelet. And it starts a beautiful relationship. What if Taylor Swift just made the bulletin board for the Chiefs bulletin board on the TV show? Be watching today to find out. And then lastly, what our great executive producer Matt Ford wanted the entire show to be about, aliens. According to a congressional hearing from yesterday, aliens are real. Multiple whistleblowers said the U.S. found non-human biological pilots on UFOs. Shortly thereafter, our producer Matt freaked out. What does this mean for the world? All right, it's likely, in my opinion, that aliens exist but have not visited Earth. Despite this congressional hearing, I was all in on the congressional hearing. And then I heard one of the people testifying who was like, well, as I've explained on my previous interviews on News Nation, I was like, yikes. I don't know about that. It's likely they exist, but we haven't had any contact. Maybe these people are telling the truth. We have had contact, and we're trying to deal with it on a governmental level, but haven't figured out the right way to do it. The what if is the scariest to me, which is, what if it's, everything they're saying is true, they give us even more public evidence that it's true, and America collectively shrugs? That scares me more than any of it. Because dating back to, hell, Independence Day, great Will Smith movie, there was the idea of, yeah, we're polarized and somewhat broken, and, there's wars and there's so much partisanship and all of that. But if we ever faced a true existential threat, we would come together. I'm not sure about it. I'm not sure people would pay that much attention, and I'm not sure people would come together. And that's the scarier part for me.
Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.